Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me. Igdalia here. I have a special guest with us, Aung La Nsang. I'm so sorry.
No, perfect. You said it right.
Okay, thank you for making me feel better. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. What motivated you to get into martial arts?
Uh, just just the love of it. Um, Deep down inside, I'm a big combat sport fan, and when I did my first when I did my first martial arts lesson, it's when I was like in love with it. So it's just the love and the passion for it.
And how has martial arts impacted your life?
Well, it teaches a lot. It's a very humbling sport. It makes you a better human being. It makes you strive to work harder to become a better version of yourself. Um, and in life, those are helpful characteristics and helpful mindsets to be strong and to persevere against hardship.
What is your fight name?
Burmese Python,
Where did you get that from?
from like a promoter in the Midwest. They didn't know where Burma was from, so I said it's like where the Burmese Python is from, and they knew where what Burmese pythons are, but they didn't know where Myanmar, my country was. So I said that's where the Burmese python are from, and then that's how I got that nickname.
That's awesome. How do you balance your personal life and your professional life?
Not take my work home. Uh, when I go to work, I work, and then when I'm not working, I balance my family life, and be a dad and be a husband.
Yeah, you have a beautiful little girl and a
Thank you.
beautiful little boy. I love
Thank
watching the clips that you put of them.
you. Yeah, they get
Ha-
big. They get big fast.
They do. I can't. Like, I remember meeting you, I think it was like 3 years ago.
No, I think it's longer. I think it's a
Really?
lot longer. Yep. I think it's a lot longer. I think it's at least, I'd say at least 5 years ago. Because I moved down to Florida 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know what? The pandemic and everything being shut
It
down, like
doesn't
I
count.
eliminated that whole year. So
Yeah.
technically, I can subtract a year from my
You're
age
right. You're right.
at
You're
this
right.
point.
2020 and 2021 don't count.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. That's like the only positive. Just
Yep.
eliminate the age.
Yeah.
Now, are there a lot of fighters from your country?
Not, no, not really. Myanmar right now is not in a good state political wise, and there's been an ongoing like civil war for like the last like 7 decades.
Mhm.
So not many fighters from my country.
So, what reaction have you gotten from your country and your fans when they see that you're fighting and representing them?
Insane support, insane support. It doesn't matter what country I fight in, I get a lot
Mhm.
of support. Like when I fought in Japan in Tokyo. Usually the Japanese crowds are very silent, but when I fought, it was insane. A lot of the Burmese, people showed up,
Mhm.
and the arena was just like electric.
And how does that make you feel having all this support?
Well, in the fight, it really pumps you up. It really gets you excited. And during training camp, I know that a lot of Burmese people are going to show up, so I train extra hard to make them
Mhm.
proud. It's one of the few sports that that we're fighting competing in an international level. So for me, it's I take it very seriously, and I do my camps really well in order to make them proud.
Yeah. Is that added pressure because you already have the stress of, training, sacrificing, time with your family, rearranging so much? Does that add more pressure or does that motivate you to just keep doing more?
Well, in training, it's motivation, and then in competition, it could be a stressful situation if you it could be an added pressure if you let it be, but I try not to. I try to I try to focus on the task at hand, which is to put on a great performance.
Yeah. Is there a particular fight that stands out to you from your career?
I guess my last fight, you know,
Okay.
it really stood out to me because of the hardship that I had to get through to get there. But obviously, the 2017, you know, me winning the middleweight belt is a big, monumental part of my career that allowed me to be more successful.
Mhm. What advice would you give to the future fighters?
Don't count on talent. You know, if you're a talented fighter, don't count on talent. Just grind, work hard, and understand that it takes like almost a decade to get good at what you do, and don't do it for the wrong reasons. Do it, you know, figure out what your why you're fighting, and stay humble and work hard.
Where are you currently training out of?
I'm currently training out of Sanford Mixed Martial Arts in Deerfield Beach, Florida.
And when you started, how long did it take you to find this place from when you moved? Like, was it a struggle to find a new place to call home?
Uh, I mean, it's hard to tell you exactly how long it took me, you know, because I've been fighting since 2005, so 16
Yeah.
years ago, and I came here 3 years ago, you know, so
I know it's important for
it's been a
fighters.
long road.
Yeah.
And Sanford MMA is it just we just started calling it Sanford MMA in 2019, so it's a fairly young school.
Okay. So when this, I saw your training during the pandemic. Um, what inspired you to do all these unconventional training out on the street with your friends and your fellow teammates?
Just do what you got to do. You know, it doesn't matter what it takes. Um, I I had to put up pads on my avocado tree and, you know, work out there. So now my tree doesn't have fruits anymore, which
You
I'm
beat
very,
it out of
very
it.
proud. It's been a year now, you know, since 2020. I was hitting the avocado tree, and now it hasn't given me fruit for like 2 years now.
I wonder why.
Yep.
How has this whole pandemic affected you with your training and your career?
Um, training's the same. Training's going well. But as far as the career wise, it slows you down a little bit. You know, usually I like about 3 fights a year.
Mhm.
But because of the pandemic, things been a little bit slower, and it's okay. I mean, as long as you're progressing and making progress, that's what matters most.
Is there something that you would like to share with us that people don't know about you?
Um, I'm just a regular guy, you know, trying to make things happen. I'm working to be the best, you know, middleweight that I can be.
Mhm.
I want to be you know, I want to have some hard fights, and in the next year and a half or so, in the next couple of years, you guys will see like the best version of myself.
Now, with all of your hard training, every time you go into the cage and then you go out and you have to recover, how much of a mental strain is that on you?
Which part, the fight or the?
Both, the combination, because you're sacrificing so much for the fight, and then you go and you fight, and then after your performance, now you have to kind of like you know settle back down and then go back into your, I guess, normal routine, not as intense.
No, no, it's a way of life. For me, it doesn't matter. I can fight this weekend and I can fight next month. It's a lifestyle for me, you know. I'm so deep in the game that it doesn't like competition is just competition now. Um, I think I take more damage in training than in fights.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a good point because I know a lot of fighters, they see you fight and they see where you've been and they see, so much of your accomplishments that they think it's easy.
Yeah,
And you, it's your lifestyle and you're dedicated to it and you're constantly training. You're also dedicating time, to your family. So you found that balance to keep it going.
yeah, yeah. But I don't really do anything other than that. I don't do other stuff. So it takes it's not that hard. It's not that hard if you can simplify your life.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it's not that hard. I mean, like anybody, I can be more disciplined. I can be even better. And and the more you simplify your life, the easier it is to do the things that you want to do.
Yeah. And how important is to have that support from your family?
A lot. Uh, everything around your life matters because it will show up in a fight.
Mhm.
If you're stressed because of your family life, if you're stressed because of a living situation, it's going to affect you when you fight.
Mhm. Yeah, a lot of people, they lose focus and they think that that's what it's all about. It's just that fight. And
Yeah,
then they risk everything else around them instead of using what's around them to keep building themselves
yeah,
up.
yeah, for sure. Like I guarantee you that I've trained with far more talented people than me, and I fought guys way talented than me, and and they should be way further than me, if they stuck with it and they work and they simplify their life, you know.
Is there
So
any advice?
go ahead.
Is there any advice you could give these fighters that are trying to find that balance, that, simplify their life to make it easier?
Yeah,
I mean, it's hard work regardless, but just to make it flow better.
yeah, like so mixed martial arts, if that's what you're pursuing, it's going to take a long time to build your skill sets and stuff like that. So it's very important that you set everything easy so that you can stay on that marathon. You can, because because your question about how intense is the training camp before the fight, like if you make it your lifestyle, it's not so intense.
Mhm.
It's not so hard on your body. It's not so hard um, on your wallet. It's not so hard on your family. If you make it a lifestyle and you simplify it. Um, so my advice for the young and upcoming fighter is just simplify your life. Make your life simple and just um, focus on what you want to be good at. If mixed martial art is your goal, then just work on that craft. Work on becoming a better version of yourself.
With all the different types of martial arts, which one do you feel you're more dominant with?
Uh, I would say now, with the help of Henry Hoof, I would say my kickboxing is pretty dominant. Um, I would say like I can do everything pretty decent,
Mhm.
but I like to keep it on the feet, um, and I like to throw down. So I would say like the striking aspect.
Awesome. Before we conclude with this interview, is there anything that you would like to share with us?
Uh, just watch for me in the next couple of years. I'm gonna be working very hard, and I'm gonna be let me put on some good fights.
We look forward to it.
I don't know.
You are such a great inspiration to the young fighters, because you're very humble and you take the time to give knowledge to the fighters. And when you corner them, I've seen you corner fighters, and
Yeah.
you're so supportive of them, where like you can feel the energy. You know what I mean? I've
I
seen
get
other
more nervous.
people.
I get more nervous when I corner, when I corner my friends than when I'm in there myself. You met me when I was when I almost retired from fighting and was going to coach and corner full time. That's when you met me, and then
Wow.
my career took off. But during that time, I corner about at least 100 fights.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own journey, and my journey took a little bit longer. But I'm here now, and I'm gonna put on, the best fights and the best version of myself when I fight. But when I met you, when you were taking pictures of my student fighting,
Mhm.
like that was the time when I almost retired from fighting. And that just goes to show that if you keep going, if you keep persevering, that you can achieve big things. You know and for me, like my career is humbling, man. Like
Mhm.
I thought I was going to make it to the big shows very early on, and I didn't, and I took a longer route, and it made me who I am today.
Mhm.
And and the reason why I'm on your show is because you took pictures of my guys, like came in and stuff like that, so it's very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. And you went with Ricardo too, right?
Yeah, of course, Ricardo's my boy. Yeah.
I met you when he was going. You guys flew in or drove in, and then the fight didn't happen.
Yeah, it's hard. That's amateur fighting. It even happens at pro level too. So
Mhm.
like it's a learning experience. You drive all the way up to Atlantic City, or you drive all the way to New York, and you don't get a fight. And that's common. So
Yeah. But you know what? You guys were so like relaxed, like not even stressed. You guys were just like, okay, like it's another
yeah,
day in the park, and that says a lot about the fighter and the coach when you can go to, the show after sacrificing so much and just still be, okay, we're good.
yeah,
I mean, I'm
of
sure
course.
later you must have been like, oh,
No,
but
it's hurtful. It's hurtful when you're there. You make all that sacrifice and you don't get it. You don't get to compete. It's hard, but that's life. Like the more you live, the more you understand.
Mhm. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. I really
Sure.
appreciate it. And I look forward to
Sure.
seeing you on your next fights. And hopefully,
Yes.
when you come up here, we'll get to see you again.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank
Talk to you
you. God
soon.
bless you.